While building the dam prevented further damage from flooding, internal healing took time and support from a loving community of other believers. Dealing with forgotten pain, things you stuff down just to survive, is serious business. This pain is so ingrained into your life experience that it affects the feelings you have, the decisions you make, your attitude, your reactions. Some pieces are small and easy to work through. Other pieces are enormous, messy, hairy chunks that are intimidating and exhausting to rebuild. To rebuild the structure of my personal land, I had to plant scriptures in my heart, terraces of grass for a strong, solid foundation for my land. With this foundation, I began to internalize who God is and who I am in God's eyes. This led to opportunities to invest in shrubs of self-worth that I could plant to further strengthen my land. I had no idea my land would produce such beautiful shrubs. Now I saw myself more and more through God's eyes than through the paradigm of my upbringing. I was no longer helplessly sitting back being flooded. I decided to step out in faith and plant the trees of my hopes and dreams. God met me where I was. My trees flourished, and now I enjoy the vast beauty of the whole landscape that God and I have created. My journey is not complete. I am not someone who has made it, but I have come quite far from where I started. I don't have a quick fix to recommend. I don't have a diet to recommend. This book is about the restoration of sin in my life, about seeing the goodness of God in the land of the living, and about fierce wholeness through hope. What I do recommend is a relationship with Jesus Christ, taking a lot of time and honesty to understand who you are and why, and having a supportive group of believers to stand with you. This has made all the difference for me, and I know it can make all the difference for you. Chapter 1. Growing Up in the Floodplain. And Jesse made 7 of his sons pass before Samuel. And Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen these." Then Samuel said to Jesse, "Are all your sons here?" And he said, "There remains yet the youngest, but behold, he is keeping the sheep." And Samuel said to Jesse, "Send and get him, for we will not sit down till he comes here." And he sent and brought him in. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verses 1 through 13. Consider the story of David's anointing. His father, Jesse, presented all of his brothers first. What does it say about David? Was he an afterthought? Was he considered unimportant or inconsequential in his family? Jesse knew that Samuel wanted to see his sons, but did not call David from his shepherding duties until specifically asked. David was the youngest, and I can relate to David because I'm the youngest in my family. I don't know how many years separated David from his next sibling, but 9, 13, and 15 years separated me from my 3 siblings. Maybe Jesse didn't want to be troubled with finding someone to take over the shepherding for David. Maybe Jesse didn't think David was important enough to be called to Samuel with his other sons. Surely one of the older sons would be who Samuel was interested in. Samuel thought so too, yet God corrected him, reminding him that God sees us differently, looking at the condition of our heart instead of our outward appearance. I wonder if David felt dismissed, unimportant, invisible in this family. I wonder if he also felt the burden of all his untapped abilities, wondering when he would be able to develop them and use them. I know I felt this way for years, always wanting, but not understanding how to get there. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the 3rd daughter trailing my last sibling by 9 years, the youngest of 4 children born to the same parents. As the caboose, a surprise, a mistake, my life was an odd combination of being controlled and being neglected. By the time I was 8 years old, I had already learned the unwritten house rules: make my mother happy, stay out of trouble, and get along at all costs. Growing up, I spent a lot of time in my room, although I never felt it was my own controlled space, because it wasn't. In 1971, when I was 6 years old, I had my very own bedroom next to my parents' bedroom. However, my room did not have a door, just a doorway.